again, YouTube. In this video we're doing issues 59, 60, 61, 62 and of the Fast and Furious build the legendary Dodge Charger RT. And yeah, I guess we'll get started. Okay. Alright, as you see, issue 59. Sorry, bumping into everything. Okay, some more cars that were probably used in the movies. Which one, I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been such a while since I've seen all the different movies. I got them all on digital download, but I can't remember which movies these cars show up in. I'd have to go back and rewatch the whole series. But so yeah, well, it looks like we're working on another part of the roll cage, which is good. Our screw of choice is CM and PM screws. Okay, and just a little bit here and a little bit there, and it's assembled, or some of it. Now this part here, now I've already checked already, but it says basically what this is saying is that before you go any further, you look at your steering shaft on your car. Make sure that that little pin is pointing down on your steering shaft before you go any further. Make sure your wheels are straight and that shaft is pointing down. Mine is. I went and checked it before I looked at the book, or before the video. And if you find that the steering shaft is not exactly straight and your wheels are, then what you'll need to do, a little tidbit here, says the following 3 steps will only need to be done if the front tires are not aligned. See step 59.3, which is, you know, this little thing. Just make sure it's straight, and then you'll need to change the position of the steering shaft. So basically, if you do have to do that, they want you to take the CM screw out right here on your steering, and then they want you to turn the steering shaft until it lines up where the pin is at the bottom, like that, and then you put the screw back in and tighten it back down, and you should be good to go. So that's basically all that's saying. And then yeah, that's part of it too. It's just what I just said. So when you're done, you should have the car sitting over there over by the TV, and then this part of the roll cage will be done, and that'll be the end of the kit. Okay, now we're getting in the tires now. The right tire. Okay. Is it me, or does it feel like on each catalog or each magazine that we get for the model kits, when we do a kit, that now they're showing advertisements for how to do this and how to do that on your car? It's just weird to me. It just seems like they're advertising car stuff. Okay, and there's just 2 pieces of roll bar in there, so we'll have to look at the pictures real close and do a dry fit and see how everything is fitting together before we go forward. I'll do that off camera, of course. Alright, so let's get to it. Okay, so this I'm looking at the pictures. It's a little bit confusing because when the parts are about the same color and everything, it looks like they're overlapping each other. So I'm assuming, by looking at the angle and everything, now they want, and you see there's a little hole here, and it matches that hole that's right there. So you just have to put it there. They kind of want it like that kind of angle, and then you're supposed to screw that together with a PM screw. Of course, you want to use a little 3-in-1 oil on this before you put that in there to prevent so it doesn't break, so it doesn't jam up, so okay, that was a box falling down on the floor, but that's okay. But go ahead and tighten that up. Yeah, I got cardboard boxes I gotta throw outside, and one of them just fell on the floor. So there we go. There's that. Okay. The next part is what they're calling 59B. And it's a little confusing in the picture, but I had to look at another picture to see what it is. But anyway, it kind of goes like this. Kind of go in that little hole right there on that part, and it kind of goes towards the front of the car like that. Okay, this has to be held together with a CM screw. These are, well, it's a little bit difficult getting these together because they're wanting to go, and I mean, it's not hard, but it's getting a little difficult because the roll bars are kind of individual pieces, and they're wanting to go in different directions when you're trying to tighten everything up, kind of thing. So it makes it a little bit harder to tighten everything up. So yeah, try that again on this side. Okay, that's snug, sorta. That's the way it's supposed to go. Yeah, okay. If your roll cage seems a little bit loose, snug it up a little more. But not so tight that you either strip out the head or you end up stripping the threads. You definitely don't want to do that. And I've done it a couple times myself, so. Okay, it's still a little bit loose. Okay. There we go, that's better. And this. Yeah, something like that. Okay. And according to the instructions, I do believe that finishes the kit. And it does. Okay, that finishes off kit number 59. And now we'll get started on the next one. Alright, this is issue number 60. Build the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. And some more stuff on the movies. Okay, another character kind of thing. Okay. Okay, another part of the roll cage, it looks like. First, I don't think it had cars in the movie, but anyway. 3 pieces of roll cage. It looks like you got CM screw, DM screw, EP, JM, and LP. Might be attaching this to the car finally. Okay, it looks like quite a few steps here going and putting the pieces together on the roll cage. And then we finally get to put it inside the interior, finally. And we got a lot of attachment points to put a lot of screws. I'm not sure here. I'm gonna have to read this later. Okay. Not sure exactly what this is about. I'll have to look at this a little closer off camera. And once you have all this together, it gets attached. I'm assuming it gets attached to the car part, maybe. And like I said, I'll have to go back and watch, go back and look at everything to make sure to see what goes where. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, we get to attach the body of the car to the interior. Finally gets to be attached. That's kind of cool. Finally get to do that. Now it's starting to look like a car. More and more like a car. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. So we have to pull that thing back out again and bring it over here. Alright. So it's fixing to get complicated. Alright, okay. Oh, now we're talking about tires again. Stretching tires. Okay. You know, I've seen an actual mechanic do this kind of work before, so I see stuff that, you know, when I was having my tires changed on my car, I've seen them do this before. So, in case you don't know, this white stuff that they're putting on the wheel here, that's actually lubricant. It's like soap water that they're putting around it to actually makes it easier for the wheel and tire to go together. That's what that's for. So doesn't hurt anything. So, but yeah, it's doesn't take them long to put one together. Interesting. Get to learn about stuff about cars, even though it's nothing to do with the movie. Okay. Kit number 60. Just 3 pieces of roll bar in there and a bunch of screws. Yay. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, they want us to join these 2 pieces together. Now you'll notice on one side it has like an outie and then an innie, and the inner, you know, a recessed area for the screw to go into, and this part is the part that holds this bar. Goes in like that. Okay. Now with some lube on, or oil on the threads of a CM screw, and you screw in, you put the screw in to hold these 2 parts together. Okay, this next little part is you put this part of the roof, part that I just put together, you stick it in the back part, the center part of this part of the roll cage, and then you take the other part and it goes into the left side like that. Yeah. Now you gotta put a screw, a CM screw, and it holds together with 2 CM screws. So we gotta get the back end first. We'll just start it, and then I'll get the other one in and start working on that one. Alright, got 1 screw started on the back. Now I'm gonna put one on the side. Get it started. Okay, this is not going to be as easy as I thought. Okay. Okay, this is going to be a little hard, so I'm going to do it off camera. I'll be right back. Okay, that was a little bit rough, but I got it in there. That screw there and that screw here. Okay, now the next part, they want us to put in this piece that goes goes here and here, and they're held in together with 2 CM screws. Okay, I got the screw started for this part and that part. Now, I may have to cut camera a couple times while I'm tightening these up because they are being a pain in the rear. But, we'll see. Maybe it's because it's hard to hang on to the metal bars while you're tightening them. It's hard to hang on to them. Makes it hard to put them together. Okay, here's that one. And it's a little bit difficult going in. I'll rest a minute and then I'll get the screw tightened up. Alright, now here's the fun part. We get to put the roll cage in the car, so we gotta scoot everything out of the way. Or should I say, we get to put it in this part of the car. So, alright, so we gotta line up all the holes with the corresponding parts from the roll cage. Okay. So here, hole there. Bring it over that way. Over there. So here. Oh boy, that's gonna be. I've never put a roll cage in a car before, you know, in real life. This is the first time I've done it in a model. So, if I've seen people put roll cages in cars before, in the real cars, and it does not look fun at all. But it looks difficult. Of course, when they're putting a roll cage in a real car, you know, they get in the car and they weld in tubing in parts of the car as it goes together, and then you just measure, cut pieces, and they measure again, cut and measure. There's just a lot to it. Okay, these are not going to stay where I need them until I actually start putting screws in. So, alright, so now we get to turn the car over and put CM screws into the bottom. 5 CM screws, and then I get to secure the back of the roll cage with DM screws. 3 of them. So it looks like okay, so it looks like from the front, it looks like, okay, it looks like this one, that one, and that one, and that one take DM screws, or CM screws. And then the DM screws are these 2 here, and that one right there are DM. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm gonna get the screws started, and after I get them started, I'll come back, because this is gonna be a wrestling match here. So I'll be right back. Okay. I got all the screws tightened up on the roll cage. It's all attached to all the points where it's attached to the cockpit of the car. You know, these screws here on the roll cage are tightened, and all these are tightened. So now we're ready to bring over the other part of the car, the chassis over here, so we can attach this to the chassis. Well, it's fixing to get exciting now. Alright. So before mating or marrying the chassis to the frame, to the body of the car, we gotta make sure that all the wires are out of the way. Like these here, they need to be kind of tucked in over here, out of the way. Make sure that's where it needs to be on the steering and everything. Now, I want to make sure that the wires on this part are kind of, you know, these are up here and this one's over here going that way, so we're good there. And we gotta, when we tilt this in, it's gotta go through that hole. The steering shaft's gotta go through that hole and going into the cockpit where the steering column is, so gotta do that. So gotta ease it in there. Make sure everything's out of the way first before we start doing that. Okay, all this is back here. Line up the holes. It's kind of hard to tell if I'm on the holes or not. I can't really tell. Okay. Make sure I'm not pinching any wires. Okay, I think it just went in where it's supposed to go. I hope. Alright, so that was about right. Okay, so now they want us to turn the whole thing over and put the screws in on the bottom. Oh boy, ain't this gonna be fun. Alright, I'm gonna wrestle with this for a little bit and then I will come back after that. So hang tight. Okay, so I know the book says to turn the car upside down, but every time I tried, it tried to separate from the top to the bottom, so I'm going to do it on its side. You basically have to take 6 LP screws, and you have 6 holes. Okay, the first hole will be like this one, so you do the same thing over here. There's a hole right there. There's a hole here. And then there's one more that's kind of hard to see it, but it's right there. And that's where you put the other 3. I've already done these other 3 up here. I've got one here, here, and here. So now I gotta pull it together so I can get the remaining 3 screws in. Okay. One more. It's hard to see this one because that's right there. Okay, just go back and double check to make sure they're all tight. Do not over tighten. Snug. There we go. Alright, flip it back over. Alright. Oh, and one more thing. When you're putting the bottom and the top together, it wants you to put all the wires through here, and they have to be on top of this little area here, so that way they can reach when you're ready to plug them in, so they can all reach that way. So you have to make sure that all these wires are close by, you know, so they're right tucked in there and they're not being pinched. They're like that. It also says to take the headlights wire and run it across right here between the fender, or the inner fender, and the tire, or that way, and just kind of have it sitting right there for now. So that pretty much, I think, let me take a look real quick. Yeah, that finishes up kit number 60, or yeah, kit 60. Alright, so I guess we'll get started on the next one. Okay, on stage 61. Okay, we'll go through the magazine. There's some more pictures. A character from the movie. Okay. This little bio, I guess, on the characters in the movie. There's some old classic muscle right here. That one. Somebody would probably ask me one time, I think, they said, what kind of car would you like to have if I had to pick between 3 different cars? And like, well, I would not have this one or that one. I know these are the modern muscle cars of today, but to be honest with you, I'd rather have this one, because I do not like having a computer on my car. I'm sorry to be that way, but you know, I'd rather have old classic muscle. They're more reliable than these up here because they break more often, and you know, things like that. So, but anyway, that's just my opinion. All right, it looks like we got it says attaching the steering wheel. Okay, then why is it showing the frame of the car? The middle section of the car body is what it says there. So, alright, so we gotta get the steering wheel out that we did in an earlier kit, and we get to put it on. And we also get to put on that little ring too. We get to finally put it on too, that we kept from a couple kits back. And then we get to attach the steering column together with the steering shaft through a little window that's right up at the top of the, right there where the wires are sitting. Okay. And then we get to test out the steering with the steering wheel. That's good. And it looks like we finally get to reconnect all the wires that we disconnected earlier. We get to reconnect them. That's cool. And then we get to put down that little hold down that we kept from the previous kit too. We get to finally put that back on, or put that on there to hold those wires down. Very good. And then on the body of the car, or should I say the middle section of the car, it's got some pieces that you need to remove. I think these are for these pieces. They're not used in the model. They're only on there to help protect they help to protect the frame from twisting on when they ship it, so it doesn't get twisted or warped on the way here. And that's it. And then you have that and that. And now we got more pictures. Now that we're getting a little too much space, or not enough space on my desk, the next few things might be a little hard to film, as they say, or to make video of, because this is still setting up here. Alright, well, guess we'll get to it. I almost forgot, didn't I? Now, so just in case you want to know, I'm going to have to move the camera, but this is the next kit. Okay, it's getting so big that I can't get it all on video here. So let me, I may have to take the phone off this holder so you can actually see. But you see how big this box is? Okay, that is the next kit. So, yeah, it's a big box. So, alright, now we'll get to it. This next part's a little confusing. Well, not really, but anyway, according to the instructions. Now, I don't remember back when I first put the steering wheel together, I don't remember ever having to put a screw in this. I actually had to dig through my screws to find the screw. It's a JM screw. And now I don't remember ever having to put one in the steering column like that and then have to remove it when I'm ready to put it in the car. So I had to grab the screw, and then I had to get it out of my storage screws and then put it in to thread it, and now I'm ready to put this in. Now before you put this column in, a few kits back we had this little ring that we didn't put on yet, and now we get to put it on. Now it has a little key right here, and then on the steering column, I'll shine some light on it. On the steering column there is a notch right there. So you put that little key into the little keyway, and it stays on like that. Now here's the tricky part. Now, with the wheel straight on the car, you gotta look through this little hole down here, and you'll see the steering shaft down there. Now you gotta run the steering column with the steering wheel on it down inside this, and bring it and make sure it's lined up, and then you just bring it down and line it up with the other column. And I think it's sticking. Alright. Now, yeah, this is going to be one of those tricky things. You gotta remember there's like a little peg on the steering shaft. But this is going to be a little harder than it looks to get this on here. The tricky part is trying not to lose the screw down in that hole. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a moment while I can concentrate on this, and when I get it started I'll come back. Okay, there we go. It wasn't easy, but I finally got it in there, I think. Make sure it's tight. It looks tight. Okay, now we get to test the steering by turning the steering wheel, and it should turn the wheels. Okay, and it does, and that's kind of cool. Very cool. Alright, make sure it's still where it needs to be, and double check the tightness on this. There we go. That's kind of cool. It looks like the pin is in there where it needs to go, and the screw is in where it needs to go, so that's good. Alright, that was a little bit on the nerve-wracking side. Now we get to reattach all the wires. Now I got to read the book a little bit to figure out if there's anything I need to do before doing that. So I'll be right back. Okay, I got all the wires reconnected. Like I said, you just put the wires in by color. So white to white, green to green, and you got one that's got the red and white, and then you got black. Just make sure that all those colors match each other, and you'll be okay. And now the next part is this wire hold down that had left over from a previous kit, and we finally get to put that back on. Or finally get to put that on. We didn't put it back on because they haven't been on yet. Okay, so we have some extra screws still laying up here on my desk, so it takes 2 EP screws to put this holder back, to put it on the car. Now, hopefully I don't drop anything down, but you know how it goes sometimes. Alright, so the trick is to get these wires to lay flat and get them to stay down so I can actually get this hold down on them. And then, yeah, without the wires coming back up or anything, gotta be able to get the hold down to hold them down. So that's gonna be a little tricky with it flapping around like that, because you can only get a little bit of your finger in there. So probably the easiest thing to do, which I'm not sure if it's easy, but I guess start one screw on one side and then work on the other is my best bet. Hopefully I don't drop a screw down in there. And it's possible that I could drop one down in there if this doesn't behave or do what I need it to do. No, don't do that. Yeah, that's what I don't want it doing. Alright, we'll just start one side. Okay, that's not where I wanted it to do. Okay, we'll do this off camera. Be right back. Okay. A little bit of fussing and a little bit of aggravation, and now we finally got the screws started, so we can get these in. Snug it up. Make it snug, you stop. Good. Okay. See how the wires are kind of tucked down where they belong. They're not going to hit anything. So they're not pulled too tight or anything like that. They got some play where you can move them. So just say that, just in case you can move around or anything, so you don't have to worry about them yanking or pulling out anywhere. Alright, looks like all the wires are still attached. Alright, now it doesn't say to do this in the instructions, but I'm going to test it out anyway. Make sure I got my switches connected right. I still got the batteries in, so I'm going to test something out. Alright, so if I push on the brakes, okay, you hit the brakes. Come on. Alright. So if you hit the brake pedal, it does this. Okay. Now, if you push, I think it's this button, well, if I can get my hand on it, push this button, and the lights come on. So you got the dash lights are on, the tail lights are on, and the headlights are on. Good. And if you hit this other button, makes the horn work. Okay, that's enough. Now I'll go ahead and turn it off. There we go. Well, I'll say that's successful. Alright, next step. Okay, only in this step they tell you to remove these bars. They're structure bars that actually keep the model from getting warped in shipment. And they just want you to take screws out and remove these two bars. They're not needed in the model, so I'm not sure what screws those are, but I'm pretty sure I can use them in something. Yeah, it's getting pretty good size here, so it's getting worse. Hard to move around a little bit. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. These little bars, I mean, you can throw them away if you want to, or you can keep them for something. You never know. I mean, they could probably be used on something. Seems like a waste, though. I mean, you know, maybe I can use them on something. You never know. It's aluminum bars. I mean, I don't know what to do with them. Okay, so that pretty much finishes that kit. Kit number 61 is now complete. So now we get to go on to the next kit. Okay. This is the fourth kit that's in the same shipment. So this is kit number 62, or magazine. I built a Dodge Charger from Fast and Furious. We'll look at some pictures before we get to it. Okay. And of course, it looks like a car ad that they're putting in here. You know, car ads and stuff, it looks like. Now this next part looks like we're assembling the car body. Okay, we're going to take the car body, which you couldn't really see in the other video because it's so big, and we get to attach the back end to it. And looks like it takes QM screws and AM screws to actually put it together. And I don't know why they have to do that many illustrations to do one part, but that's the way they got it. And they show this is, it doesn't go on yet, but they're showing about where it will go on the car. So basically, when I store it, I'm going to set it on the car like that when I get ready to store it, and until the next shipment. So yeah, that's what it's going to look like when it's done. So some more car pictures. What are they going to tell us this time? Headlights? Taillights? Headlights? I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to tell us here. Changing light bulbs or something? Okay, so they're giving us car care tips towards the end of the books now. Okay, that really makes a lot of sense. Okay, here's how big the end of the car looks like, and this is 62, and you get another screwdriver. I don't really need one because I already have one of those. So, but yeah, we'll get on it. Okay, so I want us to put these two pieces together, just like so. Okay, let me try it different. Okay, can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, just slide it together. Now, they want us to turn it upside down and put the screws in from the bottom. Alright. Okay, so I need 3 QM screws. I will be using 3-in-1 oil for this. Oops, I'll strip out the screws. Alright, so the next step is we're taking AM screws and we're putting 2 on this side and we're putting 2 on the other side. So same process for both. So we'll get this started. Okay, there's that one. Okay, that completes this this issue. It is kit number, I can't think right now. What is it? 62. Okay, so this part's done for now, and when I store it, I'm going to set it on top of the model so I can keep the dust off of it. So, but yeah, that finishes that part of issue number 62. Well, that was one of the easier. 62 was probably easier of all the other kits because there wasn't much to it. But yeah, it's just basically the inner body is all it is, and all the body panels and stuff will actually get here, will be screwed onto this panel, or should I say this skeleton that goes over the car. So this is how all the body panels are going to attach to it. And yeah, it's getting more exciting now. The more that it looks like a car, it's starting to look more like, you know, every day it's getting more and more like a car. So we're getting close to getting the body on it now, so that's not too bad. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the video. If you if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, it helps me out a great deal, and it means a lot if all of y'all are subscribed. Everybody that's watching is subscribed to me. I thank you for that. And if you hit the notification bell, it will let the YouTube know you like this type of content. And not only will you be able to know when I put out a new video, but it also lets you see other content creators that are making models too. Similar, maybe the same kind of model, or it might be different. And one thing I forgot to say in the other videos is that if you want to get a Fast and Furious model car just like this one from Fanhome, and you want to get your own so you can build one too, go to fanhome.com. I will put the link in the description down below, and it'll take you right to the web page, and then you'll be able to start your own subscription and start building the Fast and Furious model. Oh, a little bit of an update. If you want to stick around and listen to what I have to say on this part, the Ghostbuster model from Eagle Moss. Now, those that don't know, and you might already know this, Eagle Moss went bankrupt and they sold their assets. Basically, the Ghostbuster Ecto-1, the Back to the Future kit, a bunch of other type of models that they pretty much almost all their models they sold them to another. They put them out there for sale. Another company has actually bought the rights or the licenses and stuff in order to be able to start making the Ghostbuster car again. Only this time it's going through a different company. I can't think of the name of the company right now, but if you're interested in the Ghostbuster build, if you want to do more, I did do some videos until about March on the Ghostbuster, because they quit sending them out to me, because that's right around the time when bad stuff started happening to Eagle Moss a couple months after that, and they went bankrupt. So but yeah, there's another company that's bought out their assets. They got the molds and everything to actually continue with the Ecto-1. From last time I heard, they do have this other company that bought them out. I can't think of what their name is right now. They've been a model company for a long time, so they're a really good company. They got a good reputation, which is good. And I think they have to see how many people. I think they actually send out an email to people, or maybe you have to actually go to their website or something. I don't know exactly. You'll have to Google it, I think, because I don't remember where I saw this at. I think it was on a Facebook group, Ecto-1 group. I can't remember the name of the group though, but it was like an Ecto-1 group, and I was part of it. And they said something about if you want to be able to fill out one of their forms, let them know where you were if you were getting the Ecto-1 from Eagle Moss and it stopped abruptly because they quit shipping models to you or kits to you. And they basically want to know where you were and when you were with Eagle Moss, what model kit, what you were doing, what issue was you stopped at, or what issue did you stop at. I stopped at issue 7 on that model, and I was still waiting on issue 8 to come out, and it never got to me. And there was a free gift too that I was supposed to get, and I never got it. So I don't know about the free gifts, but this other company, they do seem sincere enough that that if they do start up, I don't know how they're gonna, if they're gonna resume everybody's subscription. Go ahead and renew people's subscriptions and have them resume what Eagle Moss was doing, and have people get, start finishing their model. Because once I get the Ecto 1 finished, if I ever get it finished, if I ever get that thing finished, I don't know if I ever get it finished, but maybe with the new company, I may actually get to finish Ecto 1, I hope. And if that happens, yeah, I don't know what other model I would go after next, because I don't know if I can, after I get the Fast and Furious done, then I might go with another model. I was gonna go with maybe the Back to the Future, but being that Eagle Moss went bankrupt, they don't have it anymore. So now you have to go through another company, and we'll have to wait and see. Basically, we're playing the waiting game with them to see how long it's going to take before they can actually start doing something about giving people the rest of their subscription so they can finish their model. I don't know how they would do it. Nobody knows. Everybody's speculating right now. Basically, they're people that are speculating, they're thinking, okay, well, they'll probably send you the rest of the kits all in one big box. I hope they don't do that, because there's no way that I can afford to buy it like that. That was the whole point of having monthly subscription, so you can pay your payments on it every month. Is the only way I can afford that. Because I know it's an expensive model, just like this one is. And, it's a good subscription when you pay a little bit each month until it's paid in full. Now, I know that this car is going to be, this Fast and Furious car is going to be up there when it's finished. It's going to be expensive when it gets done. The money that I spent into it. So right now I don't know the math on it right now, so I can guesstimate and say it's roughly around over $2,000 when you're finished with the model. You probably put about $2,000 into it. The Ecto 1 is probably a little over that. By the time you get done with it, it should be over $2,000 or close to it when it's finished, if it ever gets finished. But right now it's up in the air what this other company does. But I still can't think of the name of the company that bought out the assets for Ecto 1 and all the other models that Eagle Moss had. I think they're doing now Enterprise. If you're interested in that, I think this new company is going to be taking over that too. And Eleanor and Back to the Future, and I can't remember what else. There's, pretty much all of them that they had on their website at Eagle Moss. This new company is going to take them over. They're not taking over Eagle Moss. They're just taking over just the model part of it. And because they have the assets and they have the modes to make, to continue the model kits and stuff like that for people, so they can finish their model. And it could be a year before they get through debating, doing whatever they're doing. It could be another year before we start seeing anything for the Ecto 1. So we shall see, right? And the way things are going, I'll probably be done with this model before I even see anything come out for Ecto 1. So it doesn't matter, to me it's okay, but I just hope they don't do that thing that some people are saying they might do, is put your remainder shipments in one big box and ship it to you. You know how many kits that is? I've been waiting on issue 6 for a while. So if they say there's like 20 to 30, I don't know how many kits it goes up to or how many magazines it goes up to on the Ecto 1. But if it's way up there to 50 something or 60 something, that's a lot of kits. I mean, you're talking about some pricey stuff, man. I hope it's just a subscription thing and not where they say, okay, well, you pay us this and we'll ship you the rest of it. I hope it's not like that. But I hope they give us some options to be able to finish our model, the Ecto 1. But I think they're XIO. Well, let me do a quick search on that real quick, and I'll tell you who they are. Hang on a minute. Okay, the name of that company that's taking over the assets for Ecto 1 and whatever. I think there's a I think if you go to partworks.com, I think it will. There's a website that says something about Partworks, and I think if you go to there, they'll have some articles or something about this company that's bought out the assets for Ecto One and some others too. So, but on their main webpage, their IXO Models is the name of the company that took over. That's going to be doing the Ecto. That's going to. I don't know if they're going to be making them, but they have the molds and stuff to make the Ecto One to continue on to let people finish their models. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's not on their main webpage. I'm looking at it, and I just see just some of their new stuff, but nothing about Ghostbusters or Ecto One. I mean, none of that. I mean, I don't even see it on here. So I'm pretty sure that someday soon they'll have something on here. But there is an article somewhere. You can Google search it and say that you can search it like IXO bought out the assets for Ecto One model from Eagle Moss and see what comes up. And it might bring up an article or something about it, you know. But it's kind of intriguing, you know. If they do what they say they're going to do, and you know, I can't hardly wait so I can finish my model. But it looks like a good thing, so it looks interesting. Okay. This is another day and everything. I had to go back and look at the video to see that my phone had cut off right in the middle of that video, or towards the end of it, before I could even finish talking and wrapping up the video, right? So I was talking about the Ecto One and things like that. Well, anyway, yeah. I guess I'll see you when I see you, and take care out there. Be careful out there, and yeah. News about my condition. I went to the doctor today. If you want to hear about it, it's not good. They still don't know what this mass is that I have in my body. I mean, I have a cancer doctor looking at it. It's already went through 2 or 3 different doctors. They're trying to figure out what this thing is. They said it's some kind of weird, I don't know, a cancer or tumor. They're not sure exactly what it is. It's a large mass around my left kidney, but they say it's not a cancer, it's not a tumor. It's kind of confusing. It's not a kidney tumor or a kidney cancer. It's just some kind of large mass around my kidney. But when they examined it or tested it, it basically comes out like, let's see, how the way they say this again? It's like children that are, you know, it's like young kids. The cells that are inside this mass that they looked under a microscope and everything, they said these cells that are coming from this mass are like cancer cells that you would see in children. You know, like you were born with it or something, but it lay dormant until you got to an older age and then became active when you got to be an adult, kind of thing. Or basically, it's like cancer cells that little kids would have of the children that would, you know, that had cancer, you know, when they were 10, 15 years, you know, 10 or 11 years old. But a small percentage of adults, not very many, but a small percentage of adults about my age, and I'm 50, so usually there's like a small percentage of my age group that actually have it show up in them, and you know, they be pretty much healthy most of their life, and then when they get around close to 50 or a little older, you know, it somehow surfaces and they got some kind of tumor or mass or cancer, and that's what's happened to me. Doctor basically said it's a rare thing. She had never seen this thing before, never seen this kind of thing before, and never seen it. It's something new to her, and they got other people looking at it. You know, a university is looking at it. They got they sent a sample of it down to them somewhere in Tennessee, and they're looking at it, and they still don't know what it is. That's not a news kind of thing you want to hear. I mean, you got some kind of cancer or tumor, and nobody knows what it is yet. You know, it's been over a week. They still don't know what it is. So they had to do another blood test on me to see if it was in my genetics, that maybe somewhere in my family tree, you know, that maybe a family member had it. So we don't know. It sucks, man, because I mean, you know that you got a cancer or a tumor, but the sucky part is that you don't know what it is. They also said it's really aggressive, and they said it's in some of my bones. It's in my liver, lymph nodes, my renal gland going down to my legs. That's why they swell up. But they said it's not a kidney tumor or kidney cancer. At least that's what they think right now. So that's not good. So that's not something I wanted to hear. But yeah, pray for me. I don't, nobody knows how long they have to live in this world. Nobody knows. My time could end, whenever, who knows? But it makes you think life around, it's like, if this is an aggressive cancer, they said it's a stage 4 type of thing, and it's like, yeah, it's not good either. Whatever it is, it's in stage 4. That's what they said, so. But I only feel discomfort and pain in my left side, and I feel tired all the time, so that's pretty much it. So yeah, wish me luck. Anyway, yeah, so see you when I see you, and until next time, bye.